I'm Shane Solomon, you're watching the Cornwall Channel, and on the show today we have Josh Curnow.
Hello.
Okay, so we're here, our friends Parklands Toyota, really excited to have on the show Josh Curnow. How's it going, my man?
Yeah, good, thank you very much.
Josh, what an experience you must have just had coming straight out of the semis of Britain's Got Talent.
Yeah, no, it's been absolutely incredible, absolutely amazing. It's been an absolute roller coaster. I think it's about the only way to describe it.
Yeah. How do you describe it? I mean, really?
When it first started kicking off, everything was just mad. We were trying to fit in gigs and trying to do everything. It was back in February when it actually started, when we first got asked, and then we sort of went up there, auditioned, and knew obviously there and then that we had got through to the sort of next round. But you're sworn to secrecy. You can't tell anybody. It's not getting aired for another couple of months, so you got all of that pressure on you.
Yeah. So
it's kind of to go from doing one thing, all the excitement and everything, then not being able to tell absolutely anybody was quite a time. Then from that, obviously going to an elimination process, and we got through that. And then it started getting shown like little glimpses and bits of me and my girlfriend Jen on TV.
Yeah.
And people started texting, phones started erupting, and then the whole way through up until where I went out in the semi-finals. And then you were just suddenly, bang, that's it now, because obviously they've got to carry on with the show. So it was it was a real roller coaster.
And where does the story start with Josh? Where did it all start? Because I remember in one of the shows you said that at school you was dyslexic.
That's right, yeah.
So they was kind of saying focus not so much on the music, but on perhaps working in a supermarket where you're kind of guaranteed.
Yeah, it was. I mean, my dyslexia, I've never done anything different, so I've never missed being able to do this, that, and the other. Obviously, you can see where people excel and where necessarily I don't.
Yeah.
But I've never made a big deal out of it. Never tried. Nobody's ever necessarily said to me, "Oh, he's dyslexic, so he can't do that." I've never been necessarily put down by my dyslexia. It was just something that I've sort of grown up with and had. Where I lacked in, a lot of it was attention span. So a lot of the time I was in school, and a lot of the teachers just found it very much easier, instead of just pulling me to one side and saying, right, basically this is what we're going to do today.
Yeah.
Put your hand up if you have any problems. They found it a lot easier just to find an excuse to ask me to leave the room.
Okay.
So from going through all of that and being asked to leave a lot of the classes, obviously you start falling behind. I started getting grumpy. I started being like, look, why am I getting kicked out? I'm not seeing any of my friends. I'm getting in trouble for stuff I've never done. You're sending letters home to my mum and dad for things that I haven't done just to get me out of the class.
Yeah.
And it carried on like that, really. But my music teacher was always there. She would always come down. She would always pull me out of an isolation room, and she would always put me in there. And the trouble really occurred is when my headmistress called me into her room and said that, what are you doing? Your SATs and everything are all over the place. You're a complete failure at the moment. And obviously I was like, well, how can I work when I'm being pulled out of absolutely everything? Yeah, you're right. I don't know anything, but I'm being pulled out of all your classes. And she said, well, you better start focusing on that now. And then she said, what do you want to do? And I said, I want to be a musician. That's what I'd love to be able to do, my dream job. And she was like, well, stop dreaming, basically. Start focusing on something that's more achievable. The way you're going at the moment, definitely, you're looking towards working in a superstore, stacking shelves. And I said, well, that's not necessarily what I'm.
I hope she watched the show.
I don't know whether she did or not. I would love to find out if she did. But from that it was, and then she did, then it got more and more, and I was getting called into her room more and more, and I just said, I really, I just want to focus all everything that I've got on my music. And that was when she said, no, you stop thinking about it. She started getting really aggravated.
So let's talk about inspirations. What was your inspiration, that driving force, apart from someone like that kind of putting you down?
There isn't really. It was literally just that. That was my driving force. That was that, and that still is to this day, to be honest with you. I've done a lot of I've achieved more than what I ever thought I was going to achieve in music, just from simply when I went full time. And I was, I'm still made up with that. Yeah. Everything else is kind of, a real big bonus, which I'm really thankful for. But my driving force still is a lot of the negative that I had, especially as a kid growing up, and also my family as well. My family, my girlfriend, everything. Striving to be. A lot of people will always look at, oh, you're a musician. Oh, right, okay. What is that actually a job? Or do you actually earn money from that? Do you?
Sure.
And stuff like that. So I think a lot of it is to be, proven a lot for musicians, and being like, no, you can sustain a full-time job, a girlfriend, a mini family, make your parents happy, and prove your teacher wrong at the same time.
Absolutely. Now, obviously, all this with Britain's Got Talent is surrounded and lifted you into the spotlight. But you know, you were successful down here in Cornwall. I've heard of you, you know, years.
Thanks.
So, are you still enjoying those small venues after having the big stage? You know,
Yeah.
because I know that I've seen your name advertised at the Rock Inn, which is where I live here in the village of
right,
Roach.
okay.
I think I've seen your name somewhere else as well recently. Are you still enjoying that after having that?
Well, there's everything to do with onto the live semis. They're obviously all voting, and everything with, you know, the voting system to the popularity contest, if you like. Everything. My main support obviously came from Cornwall, and having everybody behind me and pushing me, that was amazing for me. You know, when I walked onto that stage, it did feel like I had the whole of Cornwall with me. You know, it was always Pirate FM pushing it. You know, lots of different people were really hammering it home, and it was lovely. Now, to go onto TV and do that, and then come back home and not gig or turn off your load of, you know, say like I'm not playing in the pubs, I think would be probably the worst thing you could ever do. You know, the reason why I got there was because I had a driving force of Cornwall behind me anyway. And if I came back and didn't play in those, you know, the venues that essentially made me who I am now and gave me the experience, would be, you know, pretty much business suicide from my point of view. Yeah. To be able to come back and actually say thank you in person to people by playing in still in these local pubs, I don't think there's anything better, and I think that's what Cornwall's all about. It's a big community, and you know, you always come back to it. And if I can say thank you by doing a little gig in as many pubs around Cornwall as I possibly can until we have to go off again,
absolutely,
then, you know, that's what I want to do.
Right. Well, I've had a couple of messages come in and questions from Facebook and Twitter. I just kind of put a message out there before we started, so I'll just read a couple out. This one's from Chris Gray. In fact, Chris Gray is a fantastic entertainer in his own right. Actually, he run quite recently Pentuan Sands Holiday Park. Wow, He was the Ents manager down there. Cool. Could you ask Josh what it was like performing in front of judges and a massive audience, and did it change his preparation from his local gigs?
Wow, good question. It's very, without the experience from playing in the local pubs and gigs, and without the experience of, you know, I think it's more the what's the word, the know-how, I guess, of you know, being in front of a crowd all the time. I always find it a harder gig when there's only one or two people watching me. Yeah. And then the rest of the people are sort of like mingling around, because you're just playing, and if you mess up, you've got all of them. But playing on a piano was a completely different feel. So I think to answer it in a oneer, I had a lot of experience from playing in obviously different pubs and clubs and stuff. To go up there and to actually play it in front of Amanda, Simon, David, you know, and Alicia, it was very, very daunting. And to have that big crowd behind it was also, oh my word, you know, if I mess up now, it's not just in front of, you know, one gig. This is in front of a live, massive audience that will be eventually at home. Yeah. It was incredible. It hasn't necessarily daunted my gigs at home. They've been very, very personal gigs at home. But it was very, very scary.
Good stuff. Okay, this next one from Harriet Bratt. Harriet Bratt's amazing. Hello, Mike, and to everyone at Cornwall Channel. Josh, I would like to ask Josh how the experience of being on Britain's Got Talent has shaped what he plans to do in the future. Also, a big, fat, huge well done.
Oh, thank you very, very much.
You know,
how does it change my plans in the future? A blogger asked me something very similar the other day, and they said, in 5 years, what's your plan? And I'm very, very much a sort of a now kind of person. I always think of, right, what am I doing tomorrow and next week? And I let sort of Jen take over for them from there. But no, at the moment, it's very, very much focused on the now. In 5 years' time, my answer to that blogger was that I would love to say that I have toured Europe, and I've played some of the bigger stages. Has it changed who I am now? No, it hasn't necessarily changed who I am now. I still love playing in local pubs and clubs, but also, you know, if I'm able to get the bigger gigs, obviously I'm going to shoot off and do those as well. Always coming back down to Cornwall though to keep me grounded.
Fantastic. And just to sum up then, following you, how can people follow you? Your Twitter, what's the handle there?
So we've got my Twitter, which is @JDCurnow. My Instagram account, which is Curnow321. Okay. And my Facebook account, which is facebook.com/Josh Curnow Music.
Superb. And where can people see you over the next couple of months? Just shout some places out that come to the top of your head.
Gosh, well, we've got tonight, I'm playing in Bude at Woodder Farm. Yeah. I'll be playing in Camelford they've got a party over there, which I'm playing at on the Saturday. On the Friday, I am over in Wax in
All over the place then, basically?
Everywhere. Yeah, there's a lot.
And there must be a gig list on your pages. And
yes,
things like
yeah,
that.
no, there will be. Every week at the moment, we're just putting up sort of gig blocks, basically, of everything that we've got. Yeah, like I said, even more so now, you can now 100% you've had first hand to say that I am very much a now kind of person. Where am I gigging next? Yeah, I am very much right. I'm playing there tonight. We'll get that one done, and then I'll ask where I'm playing tomorrow. But yeah, no, we'll be getting gig lists all over the place and letting the public know as soon as we possibly can where we're playing.
Super. Well, here at the Cornwall Channel, we're mighty proud of you. It's great to see you on that big screen, and obviously all the guys that follow us as well. We're rooting for you, look forward to getting some of your music. Perhaps when you're out and about, if we bump into you again.
Yeah, absolutely.
Some of the music and keep in touch. So,
we'll do.
So once more, man. Well done.
Thank you very, very much. I really, really appreciate it.
Well, there you go. Josh Curnow, follow him, check him out. Absolutely awesome. And our big thanks, of course, to Parklands Toyota for letting us take over their all set. Don't you think it looks great?
I'm actually going to take one of their cars now.
Yeah, we're going to try and do that. Thanks for watching. Catch you soon.
Cheers.